What really bugs me is that a lot of white people think that government intervention helps minorities, and it's never helped minorities from the beginning of this country. If you remember the beginning of this country, you know, black people were considered one third of a person. And the reason they were considered one third of a person is so that Thomas Jefferson believed that the best way, since he couldn't prevent slavery, to prevent southern states from having so much power, is to consider black people only one third of a person so that these southern states wouldn't have their populations counted so highly since the majority of their population were slaves. Um, this didn't really help at all. In fact, instead of actually fighting for non-slavery, which some southern states were still teetering on, um, he only prolonged slavery for a very, very long time. And it's just ridiculous if you look at it. I mean, George Washington's slave was basically his best friend, and it wouldn't be hard to convince these Southerners to, try to give that up. I mean, uh, and government intervention, making them count as one third of a person, was used in an argument for hundreds of years after. So all they did was make black people seem like less of human beings for hundreds of years instead of its original purpose. Oh, what about the Native Americans? What about how we stole all their land and then forced them to live on reservations and then tried to put their kids in school, make them forget their language, their culture, and everything about them? Oh, how about Hawaii? When we thought it would be a good idea, since Hawaii doesn't have an army, why don't we just station our own army there? And then after a while, you know what? Fuck it. Just invade and take over their entire fucking country and make it a state just randomly, like in fucking interventionists. And we just came in there, took everything. We just stormed their fucking, you stormed the Queen's fucking palace and said, all right, you're a state now. That's it. Like there was no diplomacy. There was no settlement. There wasn't even a war. We just went there, invaded, and made them a state. And that's government intervention has always been toxic to minorities because democracy is toxic to minorities. And people really get mad at me when I say that. But the fact is that democracy is racist because it's the 51% forcing their opinion down the 49%. All right? That's what democracy is. It's a majority rules, and majority of people in America are white people. So white people are always going to have the rule until that changes. So, and then even when it does change, then that race will be racist. The fact is that you can't, with rights, you can't really decide that with a democracy. That needs to be a republic decision. You need to have these rights defined from the start and defined for everybody. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, just free-flowing market would have helped end racism and discrimination so much sooner. I mean, during the civil rights movement, the bus company was begging the government to let them fucking service these black people because they were going broke. They didn't have any money. Black people relied on the bus a lot more than white people did. And they said, fuck it, we need these people. Who cares where they sit? I need these people for my cash. And the fact is that would have happened everywhere. But the government stepped in and said, no, we have to enforce the law. The law is more important than your profit. And that's just how things are seen. The fact is that the majority of reason why a lot of minorities are on welfare is due to the government. The government welfare system is a trap. It's a trap. It's an absolute trap. They give you a lot of money to get by, but the fact is that it becomes a trap because these people, a lot of minorities are in single-parent families because their father was probably put in jail. And he was put in jail for probably something so simple like smoking a plant that can grow in anyone's yard randomly and that literally has like no reason to be illegal whatsoever. And they're put in jail for that because they can't afford. They're not white people, and they were born into this public work system in a public house, so they can't afford to pay for rehab. Therefore, they have to go to jail. Then their son grows up with no father because he's in jail for smoking a plant, and he doesn't really have that much of an opportunity either. And since the school system is designed to help minorities out by pushing them along with stuff like social promotion, A plus, and No Child Left Behind, it it becomes a very oh, get these brown kids out of here, hurry them up, they got to get out of school, and then they're not very educated and have no skills, thus resort to the life of crime to make a decent fucking living without having to be on welfare. And then they find a wife, and all of a sudden they get caught for one of these crimes, and they're in jail, and the cycle repeats. It's a vicious cycle of government being infected on minorities. From the very beginning of this country, minorities have been prosecuted by the government, and it's all in the sake of quote unquote helping the minorities. The fact is that you can't help minorities without making them equal to white people. The only way you can help minorities is to make us equal to white people. And that's just what they never want to do. They never want to make us equal. We're never equal. Even now, minorities are treated like second-class citizens. And it blows my mind that white people always think that they can help us. They think that the government can help us. They think that forcing things upon us can help us. Well, you're fucking wrong.
Game over.